And welcome back to the Warframe video. So the Techrot Encore update will be out on March 19th, and with it are some big shakeups to the meta of power in Warframe. We're getting some buffs and nerfs, and today we'll be focusing on some of the frames getting the biggest buffs in the Techrot Encore update. So these frames we're covering today are going to be a lot stronger after these changes, like pretty much unconditionally. We'll be covering how they're getting stronger in this list today. If you enjoy these types of videos, make sure to sub to this channel, do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news video, discussion videos, all that kind of stuff in the right place for Warframe content. We'll be covering the Techrot Encore update in depth when it does come out in like 8 days. So let's get right into it. Okay, but starting off with honorable mentions on who's getting buffed the most, we got a couple frames here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. The amount of power this frame, the first honorable mention, gets is up for debate, but the fact that they're getting an arcane slot on their pistols is why I'm putting Mesa as my first mention here for honorable mentions. Why is Mesa getting a big buff? Well, it comes down to her regulator pistols. So as we see right here, there's no arcane slot on the regulator pistols. What is going to be happening? We're getting arcane slots on Exalteds, including Mesa's Exalted pistol. So what's that going to mean for you? It's going to mean you can put on pretty much any secondary arcane that's available on Mesa's pistols to get various effects. For example, Cascadia Flare, giving you increased damage from heat proc up to 480%. Secondary Encumber, giving you tons of extra procs. Secondary Fortifier, making you steal enemies' Overguard and give it to yourself, and also deal increased damage to Overguard. So I'm thinking this one might be really good. Do keep in mind that right now, Secondary Outburst on your normal pistol, equipping that will work on Mesa's pistols. We do not know if that will still work in the future. Either way, the flexibility of being able to steal Overguard with Mesa from one bullet from across the map is very good, and 480% increased damage on Mesa doesn't sound too shabby either. Beyond that, she's not really getting buffed that much more. She's just getting an arcane slot, but just an arcane slot should be good enough for Mesa to be feeling really powerful. Moving on to the next honorable mention, we've got another frame that's going to be the secondaries that is not really, I don't really use her pistol as much. It's going to be Jade. Yes, Jade has an Exalted ulti that is an AoE pistol, basically. So let's go ahead and show it with no helmet here. So the Jade Glory ability is going to be getting another honorable mention on this list. It's like, yeah, well, you're going to be mentioning Jade. Who's going to be better than that? Trust me, there's frames that are going to be a lot better than Jade with these new changes. So as far as what would be good about Glory on High, it is actually a pistol ability. So it having, no arcane slot to be a pretty big difference. So as far as what I recommend on Jade, a fun thing about Jade is that she could get easy Cascadia Flare stacks with her third ability, Ophanum Eyes. It removes enemy armor and shields, and then when they have no armor and shields, it will also do a heat proc too. So let's go ahead and showing how that works right now. Look at my Cascadia Flare. It should be basically instantly stacked. I gotta get rid of their shields first. Okay, so once their shields are gone, it should be an instant. Yeah, as you can see right there, 192. I guess it doesn't give you multiple stacks per enemy. Yeah, just from enemies standing there, pretty much half the Cascadia Flare stacks. We just jump into our ulti, throw down our one, and detonate the entire area. Imagine that with 400% increased damage, 480% increased damage, or maybe even some Overguard steal. So that's to be really good. Again, look at every pistol arcane in the game you have available to you. Those will be the options you'll have, and there's quite a few good ones too. So yeah, I'd say Jade's an honorable mention due to how easily she can stack up that Cascadia Flare. And if you don't want to use Cascadia Flare, it shouldn't be too bad. She's already got AoE from her Exalted, so good to go on that front. And then for one more honorable mention before we get the actual list here, I'm going to put on Valkyr. Now, the thing about Valkyr is that she actually has not the best status chance, unfortunately, and one of the biggest things you'll be able to do with this new update is putting melee influence on your Exalted. So, Valkyr has 10% base status chance, and melee influence requires an electric proc to be procced to actually get it to be AoE proc. So, unfortunately, Valkyr having 10% status chance is not good for this, but at the same time, there will be other fun things with Valkyr, like maybe melee vortex. You throw a magnetic proc at the enemy, maybe with your Sentinel or something like that. You kill the enemy, and it will pull enemies in within 18 meters to your Valkyr's claws. No status chance required. Full crit. Additionally, other things like maybe melee afflictions could be okay. Melee exposure for a bunch of corrosive damage. You have plenty of options here. But the thing is, Valkyr, again, has pretty much no status chance. But another thing, too, is that Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds will work on this, so the Valkyrie build will be buffed quite a bit. I mean, we have a lot of crit chance. You throw on Blood Rush, to be really, really nasty, okay? So, enough of that. Let's move on to the actual top 10 here with number 5. Number 5 is going to be a frame that's getting a huge buff in the Techrot Encore update, and that, honestly, it might surprise you which one it is, okay? Number 5 is Wukong Prime. Yes, Wukong Prime is getting a massive buff with this update. How is Wukong getting a buff? I thought Wukong got nerfed with the slam attacks. He did get nerfed with the slam attacks, but the Iron Staff, did you forget he had this? Wukong's Exalted Iron Staff is going to be nuts with the new changes. Not only will we be able to change this build to put on like Weeping Wounds and like Blood Rush if you wanted to, but the base stats of Wukong's Iron Staff are insanely good. So let's just go ahead and run an empty build here. So we have 30% status chance at base, so literally 3 times the chance of Valkyrie at base. And we've got 25% CC as well. If we throw on a build, we can do melee influence really easily. And of course, we'll have Weeping Wounds on here for even more status chance after the patch. But did you know that this weapon has extremely far range? And melee influence is a 20-meter AoE. So we're going to have up to 14-meter range melee, and it might even be longer after the changes. And that we also have the Primal Rage augment giving us more crit chance on our staff. So we're just going to be doing tons and tons of AoE damage. So if you add it all up, it should be about like a 34-meter AoE on your melee influence once the patch comes out. I've got Wrathful Advance for guaranteed red crits. Let's just go ahead and summon them in here. Now, I'm making it sound crazy good. Oh, 34-meter melee influence, that's pretty decent. We've got even crazier ones on top of this list, guys. So as you can see, all of that stuff will be doing 20-meter procs after the patch. So that it's also very, very easy to use as well. You just basically mindlessly hold on the button, and they're going to be all dead. I guess Wukong has some like built-in vortex thing too with his attack, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The more combo you get, the more range you get. Let's actually get some enemies that can survive here. The more combo you get, the more range you get, up to 14 meters. Now, that might even be higher after the patch, because they're adding, I believe 2.8 meters base range onto these Exalteds. So expect maybe even more after the new patch as far as how much range you get. So, as you can see, we're max range now. We can hit these enemies from really far away. And that will be melee influence on each of them spreading electric procs. So yes, not the slam attacks, unfortunately. But if you want to do some melee influence stuff with Wukong, you're gonna have you basically have the bow prime of the Nami solo as far as range coverage here. And you're gonna have lots and lots of crits too with Primal Rage and the new changes giving you Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush. So yeah, number 5 on the list is gonna be Wukong. I'm actually looking forward to this a lot because it has very, very good hybrid stats, and it has pretty good base damage too and range. So it's like basically a mini Incarnon. I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. All right, moving on to number 4 on the list. This one's a little bit of a cheat code. I'm sorry I'm doing this one to you guys, but number 4 is actually a couple different frames. Okay, so number 4 on the list is going to be all the frames getting new augments. We got 4 new augments coming out on the 19th, and they are as follows. So the one for Wisp doesn't sound as good, but still. Wisp Soulgate Ulti Augment. You'll drop a mini sun on the map that will actually be it's like a Nightwatch Napalm, basically. It's going to cause the procs that Wisp motes should be causing, like corrosive procs, the radiation procs, and heat procs, or whatever, if you have the motes up. But basically, it requires you to have your ulti, so let's not worry about that one too much. Let's think about more of these other ones, like Omi Kuji Augment for Komi. When I first read this, I forgot which ability this even was for Komi. This is the Decree ability for Komi. So after this patch, you're getting a new augment where if you get a kill with Komi's passive, which you don't know Komi's passive, I don't blame you, it is basically one of your weapons gets random procs on it as her passive rotates. So as long as you get a kill with Komi's passive weapon, you will reduce the cooldown of your Decree ability. So you could basically get Decrees a lot faster with Komi as long as you just use her passive. And as long as you have good weapons equipped, it shouldn't actually matter. So yes, Komi will be getting Decrees a lot faster. We don't know how many seconds it will shave off per, but any amount should be pretty good. And you'll be able to get your Decrees rapid fire compared to right now. So a must-run augment on Komi. Next, this one might make a big difference. It's for Corvex. Corvex, basically the frame that nobody really uses that much. The concrete frame, the radiation concrete frame, is getting a extremely interesting sounding augment called, actually we don't have a name for it yet, Crucible Blast Augment. So get a load of this. Normally, Corvex's ulti is a laser beam that you basically channel, and it can do pretty good damage. But the thing is that it locks you in place. What is the new augment going to do for Corvex? It will basically turn you into a nuclear reactor. Crucible Blast becomes a channeled ability, consuming energy per second that ramps up. Active Chirika Pillars will trigger chain reactions and freeze their duration, but your mobility is greatly reduced. So you basically will become very slow, honestly. You won't be able to move very fast, but you will become the radiation ulti. So here we are right here. I don't have the ulti on this build, so let's find a build that actually has the ulti. No helmets should do. So you can just put the augment on here somewhere, and then this ability will become a channeled ability that will be basically just exploding around you at all times. Go ahead and show him that really quick here. I don't really have a full build on him right now, but maybe after the patch I'll put an Omniform on him or something. We'll just get our Techrot guys back out here too to make it look a little bit better. But yeah, you basically just throw in a Chirika Pillar, and you can just use his, I guess you could use his 2 technically, and then this. So this will be constantly around. You'll be able to walk around with that laser beam active. Like, just imagine like that damage right there is constantly around you exploding. It sounds like old World on Fire from Ember a little bit. But at the same time, you won't be able to jump, or you might be able to jump, but you probably won't be able to bullet jump. Think like Ivara. So like, I'm assuming you'll be able to jump and roll, but as far as bullet jumping, I'm assuming you will not be able to do that. But yes, this will allow you to use your guns while you're using your ulti. This will make your Chirika Pillars, even more deadly and pulse out their radiation stuff more often too. It's just sounding like an extreme game changer for Corvex. So great stuff on that regard. And as far as the last augment, keep pulling up the wrong picture here. The last augment is for Gyre. And this one actually sounds like it'll be pretty strong, because keep in mind, Gyre has a new skin coming out too. It's going to be for her first ability, Arc Sphere. I've already held off her second ability on my builds because I will be definitely using this augment. But yeah, Arc Sphere augment. Projectiles that pass through the Arc Sphere have a guaranteed electric status effect and increased electric damage. So it's very similar to how Saren's Toxic Lash works, but now we're going to do it for electric procs instead. So as far as what you can do with this, I've got a placeholder what I'm working on right now. We've got Cathode Current, her must-have augment for her ulti, and then you'll have the new augment right here. Unfortunately, she's going to probably need 2 augments. But yeah, you'll throw on your Arc Sphere, and you'll shoot projectiles through it, and it will cause guaranteed electric procs. It's going to be very, very strong with, the fact that Gyre ulti is good with crits as well. So it should be really, really strong. Alright, so go ahead and just showing an example how this will work afterwards. You use your third ability to buff up. We throw in our Arc Sphere. We can technically use our ulti as well. We shoot through this, and those bullets will be doing guaranteed electric procs. That's basically it. That's basically it. So it won't be exactly exciting, but it should be very, very strong. Now these abilities can do decent damage too, but yeah, it'll mainly be a weapon buffer skill for Gyre, which she kind of does that a little bit right now, but it's not really her main thing. That'll be guaranteed electric procs on that too, so it should be a lot of deadly lightning for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a big Gyre player, so this one's going to make me definitely looking into her, playing her some more. Okay, so that's enough of that cheating one on number 4. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure the info was good. So yeah, those frames are all going to be looking a little bit better. Maybe with Wisp not really getting too much of benefit from that augment that she's probably not going to really use that much. Okay, moving on to number 3. So yeah, after those 4 frames got their augments, who could be after that? It's going to be your boy Baruch. So part of this pseudo-exalted rework and an exalted rework will be making the energy waves of certain abilities like Baruch's Exalted Fist and maybe number 2 on this list, pseudo-exalted. They will be able to benefit, actually they'll be able to build combo and also, benefit from things they weren't able to benefit from before. So that includes Baruch. So for Baruch's going to be able to use Blood Rush on his fists, and also he's going to be able to, get good stuff from his energy waves too. So the way that Baruch works right now, you have to basically run the mods that are allowed. So in the future, we'll have to run these specific mods, but yeah. For as of right now, you got to put on this mod, that mod. You can't put on Weeping Wounds. You can't put on Blood Rush. That's going to change. Also, you get a new Arcane slot here, too. You could probably put on Melee Influence for the energy waves of Baruch. He's got pretty good status. It's not amazing status chance. He's got okay status chance. But the big thing about Baruch, as far as status chance, is he has the... Well, it looks like I don't have the augment on right now, but the Reactive Storm augment. This gives you increased status chance that also scales with Power Strength. Let's just throw that on there right now. And it also changes the damage types to match enemies' resistances. So, with Power Strength, we have 635% increased status chance on his fists, which should be pretty good for Melee Influence. And additionally, we've got Nourish on here too for Viral on top of whatever else we're doing here. So, Keep in mind, this will be stronger after the update as he is getting buffed. But as of right now, it's still pretty good on the patch we have right now. So the way Baruch's Exalted works, you gotta get the charge somehow. So you can use his 3 to get some restraint meter eroded. Use his 2 to get the restraint meter eroded. It's really, they both kind of work, to be honest. So now that we've done that, we go ahead and activate his 4. And we're in his Exalted form, so we can release these energy waves. Those energy waves don't really benefit from much right now. But keep in mind, once the patch comes out, they will be, you know, building combo, they'll be proccing melee influence. It should be very, very fun. If you are a Baruch player already, I bet you're extremely excited for this change, as he really can't do as much as some other frames can, besides like slam attacks and stuff like that. But at the same time, lots of frames can do slam attacks, so nothing that crazy, well, nothing that different, basically. The only thing about Baruch I don't like, compared to some of the number 2 and number 1 frames, is look at this. Well, the energy wave doesn't normally go through walls, like as I go right here. As you see, energy wave not going through walls. That's the only thing you could really complain about Baruch. He has line of sight, unlike some of the number 1 and number 2 frames on this list. But yeah, melee influence Baruch should be pretty nasty. Get some 20-meter AoE on your fists, and also you got some pretty good damage increases too with the Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds changes. So great stuff on that regard. Okay, so yeah, Baruch's looking good with his AoE fists. Let's move on to number 2. And yes, there is a frame that is going to be actually a lot better than Baruch, in my opinion. And it's a surprising one. Excalibur is actually getting a big, big buff. He's on my number 2 on the list. As far as what's getting buffed with Excalibur, as I stated, we are getting melee influence on our Exalteds, and the Chromatic Blade Augment can turn your Exalted Blade into base electric. Not to mention the Furious Javelin Augment gives you melee damage per enemy hit by your 3. So big thing here is that the stash hits also scales with power strength on Chromatic Blade, just like Reactive Storm. So we have nearly 700% increased status chance on our ulti. If we make our energy color purple-ish, it will make it base electric, so the melee influence should be very, very nice. But here comes the best part about this weapon. These energy waves go through walls. I think DE might end up nerfing Exalted Blade because this is going to be extremely good, okay? So get a load of this. I summon in these enemies. Okay, I summon these enemies. I don't have to build any restraint meter or anything like that. I get my energy. I go behind a wall. I will be able to melee influence these guys through the wall. Those will be 20-meter AoE procs. I think DE might end up nerfing Exalted Blade because it really goes through the wall a lot. Now, the only thing that really isn't the best is the energy waves have really low projectile flight speed. But still, if you're like a hallway or like that, you will be able to definitely do some cheesy stuff with Exalted Melee Influence Blade. Yes, it is looking really good, and we can also, I mean, those guys are already dead with no melee influence, so you can only imagine how much better it will be after the patch. We got Blast Electric right now, so Electric will proc melee influence to make it AoE, and then Blast procs to make these explode, and even more AoE. So really, really good stuff. The damage is pretty good too, but keep in mind, you can even run that Furious Javelin mod I have on there too for increased melee damage. So that's 661% increased melee damage right there. It's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really good. So I'm looking forward to this one probably more than most. And the only frame that's going to be above this is a frame that's like literally getting reworked. So yeah, I'd highly recommend you consider getting Exalted. I mean, look at the build. The build wasn't even min-max for those guys. Highly recommend you give Exalted Blade a look after the patch because it's going to be potentially, you know, nerfable with how strong it will be. 20-meter AoE procs going through walls. We got red crits with Wrathful Advance. It's going to be really, really nasty, okay? Let's move on to the last frame, the number 1 frame getting buffed the most in the Techrot Encore update. Shouldn't be a big surprise to you. It is going to be Ashe. Ashe is the only frame going to get actual rework in this update. And with it, there's some really smart changes coming to Ashe. Now, they might be the most flashy sounding changes, but they're even going to rework his 4 as well. So I've got actually the entire list of Ashe changes right here for us to take a quick peek at. So get a load of this. Every ability is getting buffed. So let's start off with the first ability, Shuriken, his first ability. The damage of Shurikens being increased. You're going to throw more Shurikens, and also Shurikens will give you melee combo counter. Shuriken is basically an ability nobody uses right now, besides for the augment to remove enemy armor with Seeking Shuriken. So the fact they're going to make this more damage focused and give you melee combo counter should be very, very good for Ashe's usual playstyle of just like destroy everything with weapons pretty much. So really good change on that first front. Second change, for actual Ashe players, we know this one's good. Increasing the base duration of Smokescreen from 8 to 12 seconds. That means that Ashe is going to have the same base duration as Loki, but we're not done. Yes, Loki is already crying because we have the same duration as him, and we get more damage than him because of Smoke Shadow. But additionally, you will be able to refresh the duration of invisibility with finishers. So, you know, if you do a finisher, to give you a good chunk of duration back. If you do a Mercy Kill, it'll give your entire duration back. So on a build like this, we'll probably have about 25-ish seconds. And then additionally, the third ability of Ashe, Teleport, is a guaranteed finisher. And the finishers will work at level 10,000 damage-wise using a weapon like a hammer with no finisher mods needed. But good thing that you're not going to even need a mod for finishers, because we're getting the Fatal Teleport Augment mod built into Ashe's 3. So, and this also scales the strength, like a lot of things we've been talking about today. So that means, on this build, you're getting 230% increased finisher damage built into your kit. But there's additional more information too. That augment's being changed to the new Speedy Teleport augment, I believe it's called Quicken Teleport. Do a Mercy Kill on an enemy within 12 seconds, or it will give you particle velocity for 30% for 12 seconds. The duration is double on a Mercy Kill. That is extremely good, because the way that these missions run, look at my shards right now. I've got parkour velocity shards on Ashe to move through the mission faster. 30% parkour velocity should scale with strength, I'm assuming. And that's to be basically like having more parkour velocity shards. It will be worth the slot, I'd say. Ashe's Warframe doesn't need every little mod slot to function. Like, I could literally just take off something on here, no issues at all. We put on the new mod, we're going to be a speedster. So even the thing that Loki was getting before, was, you know, which was longer duration invis, he no longer has that because we have the same duration invis as him now. So very good stuff on that front. Now, as far as fully refreshing your invisibility on a Mercy Kills aren't the easiest thing to do in Warframe, but do keep in mind, there is a new shotgun coming out, which is codenamed the Mercy Shotgun. And I am speculating that will enable guaranteed Mercy Kills, and it should be very, very good with Ashe's new change. If you don't want to do this, just a normal finisher to get some of your duration back, you could do a Mercy Kill to get your entire duration back. Not to mention Smoke Shadow buffs, weapon crit quite well. So I think Ashe will be becoming an extremely good character after this. Now, he is also going to get his Exalted ulti reworked. It's becoming a dagger. It's becoming moddable. It's getting crit chance and crit damage. It will work with Wrathful Advance technically. But yeah, for me, my big changes for Ashe are the things I actually use him for. Seeking Shuriken, getting buffed. Invisibility, getting buffed. Fatal Teleport being built in, and this has become a much more useful ability. And then also I can just help with Office 4, and then use Precision Intensify for big damage on the 4th ability. So great stuff on that front, and that's basically it for the video, guys. Hope you find it fun, helpful. Let me know which frames I didn't mention in here that are going to be getting buffed to you. I was going to put Atlas on here, but I had a lot of Atlas players saying he's beating a nerf, actually. So we'll have to see about Atlas when it comes out. Appreciate the support. See you guys next time. Peace!